All right, what's up, everyone? We're back. I am back from last week, which was a little bit dicey. Um, Actually, it might have been two ago that was the more dicey one. But regardless, uh, we're ready to win it. I'm feeling good today. So let's get some games in and see how we do. Hope everyone's doing well. Play 10 minutes. Let's go. What was I supposed to do? I might just do this. That's a loss of a tempo, I guess. But he moved his. Yeah, I guess it's bad. We'll see. Dang it. This is tense. I'm definitely behind, I guess, but I feel like it's better than it was, for what little that's worth. Nice. I thought he might do that. This is why we don't give up. We don't resign. On this channel, we don't resign. Woo! That one blunder we did, for sure. But 3 mistakes, 1 blunder is not that bad in itself. We're going to take that win for sure. I wasn't doing much commentary on that one because I was in it to win it, but a win's a win. That's 12 points in the bank. New 10 minutes. Bird. Sorry to move away from the camera. I had to check if I had a booger. Alright, so usually in the lines I remember, it's all ones where the bishop is able to get out. So that's out the window. So what can we do? I can't really do anything with the bishop. He wants to push this. Take. We just won't let him push that then. Because that would cause me stress. This is a no stress zone. That queen's not too intimidating. I guess I can castle then. No, yes I can. The knight gets this one. Oh, I think he blundered his queen. Or he blundered the knight actually, because I could take back the queen with the knight. Today it's a good day to be a bird. Get out of here. You think I was born yesterday? I'm down to just trade stuff. If I'm up material, I think I could just trade. Alright, I have to remember, don't get too cocky. We botched one the last game and we won. We don't want to have our opponent botch at this one and then lose. We're up on time, we could take our time, everyone stay calm. That's all I'm asking of you folks. Does this do anything? No. Does this do anything? Not really. No, it does literally nothing. Sure. If he's going to putz around, we're going to march forward. Channel GM Raven, we attack. We don't get God. We gon' get. I think it's better if he takes. So I'm going to push this. Alright, we're really locked up, but he's kind of locked himself up also. And I think that us being up material means that we can make it. Although it doesn't feel like we're up material with the current bishop situation. How do I break free from this prison? I think we got him. He's not looking good. Alright, we got him. That's 2, baby. 1 mistake, 0 blunders, 0 misses. We're not doing bad today. We're running hot. But we're staying humble. Humble. I don't think we've had a 4-0 yet, so we're always at risk of losing. So we stay humble. We stay humble on Channel GM Raven. If you want to be an adult improver, you got to be humble. Golden square. So far, so good. But we're staying calm. Now the question is, do I want to just move my queen out of here? Or keep it here and keep it tense? I'm going to get out of here. There's no reason we have to take big risks. We're doing really well. We can just stay cool. I'm cashing out of the casino. We gotta keep careful with time. We're gonna get there. He's got nothing. Oh, nice. I almost blundered the queen. Let's get the king in here. I did not blunder the queen. That's a big improvement. That's unironically something I might have done a week ago. Nice, folks. So let's see. We could take our time now. Can we checkmate? 3-0, baby. 3-0. We're back. We are so back. To everyone that said it's so over, let the record show that we are so back. No rematch. We're filming a TV show. Say hello. Clear all. What do you say? No. Filming a TV show. Yeah, that rocks. We're going up a lot of points. New 10 minutes. I wish the last one was the bird, but this is still good. Just please play King so I could play Karo Khan. There we go. Goofy Amour. That's a great name. I hope that's his real name. I'm going to choose that it is. His mother loved the Goofy movie. His mother's part of the Goof Troop. The South African Goof Troop. What the heck is this Gambit? What's not a Gambit? Do I want to take it? I do not think I want to take it. I know we went through this. I'm not supposed to Karo Khan really Fiend Shadow in the Karo Khan, but I don't remember what else to do, and it seems like an easy way to attack that piece, so I'm going to do it. Yeah, I put this pawn here, and that knight is, like, not getting touched anytime soon. Oh. That was bad. Oh, wait, no, I could just take this. That's not that bad. Oh, no. We're still in it. No, we were so close. We were so close to the 4-0. Ugh. And to a 980, I'm going to lose so much points. Ugh. Before I resign, and I'm going to resign, I'm going to think about how sad I am. Let's not focus on the bad times. Let's not focus on the disasters we face after we're tired. It's tiring playing 3 games in a row. The 4th game, I always say the first game doesn't count. Really, the last game doesn't count either. It's not realistic to expect a man to play 4 games of chess in a row. It's not healthy. So I'm going to have to hit... Yeah, I think it's just checkmate anyway. So, yeah, resign. Where is the resign button? And chess.com decided to disconnect us at our lowest moment, to kick me while I'm down. Dang it. Oh well, we're still up for the day. I think somewhat significantly. How in the world is that 2 mistakes, 0 blunders, 0 misses? That's not correct. But that's okay. Whatever. Let's go talk to Raven in a bit, and I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed being back, and maybe we'll learn something later. And feel free to celebrate. Pop open a cold one. 3-1. It's not 4-0, but pop open a cold one with the boys. I assume there's watching parties. So I'll see you in a bit.
Here we are.
What's up?
Teach me 8. How do you think you did?
Overall, good. 1 bad game, 3. I think not only did I win, I think I did okay.
Nice.
I don't think I got like super lucky on any of them. Oh no, a guy just botched, but 2 of them I think I played well.
Nice. Yeah, 3-1 is always a good score. I think this is probably your highest ever rating on chess.com.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're moving up in the world, baby.
Oh yeah.
Keep watching, and that 1073 could be you.
So the first question is, what flag is that?
That is Bangladesh.
Did you have to hover over it, or did you know that?
I just know that.
Damn. I'm impressed, man. A man of the world. Alright, we're going to start with Goofy Amour. You already gave me the the hint that this is the bad game, but how could you lose to a guy named Goofy Amour?
He wasn't playing Goofy, he was playing Serious Amour today.
Yeah. Serious Amour is better than Goofy Amour.
Yeah.
Bishop G4? Okay, yeah, this is fine. In general, though, when they take twice here, normally you just need to stomach it and face the fact that your bishop is going to get locked on this side.
Okay.
I guess in this exact position, there's no problem, but for instance, if they played knight c3, knight c6, I guess you could still do it, but in general, though, you do need to be a bit careful. There are like a lot of positions where if they play bishop c4 here, you just have to stomach it and play e6.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the end of the world. Locking your bishop in when they've already traded both of these is different from locking it in with only 1 pawn.
Because that's so bad it's worth that price of your bishop being bad?
Not exactly. I mean, okay, sort of, but there's something else as well.
Okay.
Can you guess it? The position is a little more open for your bishop, right?
So later on you could push maybe A and then B and then get the bishop on B A7.
Good. Yeah, exactly. B7. Perfect. Yeah, the queenside fianchetto. Just like the bird. So knight f3. Okay, bishop g4, knight d2. All of this is good. In general, you should be careful to do this, right? This is that famous or infamous M structure.
Yeah.
All right, if he gets a bishop here, you're going to be dead meat. Or dead amour, as they would say.
Yeah, in South Africa.
Check, knight c6, knight e5. Okay, yeah, by the way, just whenever there are pieces like this, you should think about playing knight b6. It would be good to get that trade.
That does look good.
You took, yeah, this is part of the problem of the bishop being out, right? The bishop out makes knight e5 so much stronger. Imagine if your bishop was back at home watching TV. You could just play bishop d7 now and be completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Your bishop can never hop back over the hill. Yeah, it's something important to think about. I mean, it's just the fact that when they go for this type of E and D stuff, they're going to be so far ahead in development that they have stuff like this. So that's mostly why I gave that rule of not. Normally, it's better just to play e6 and leave your bishop here because, as we're going to see, these things can happen. You ended up trading this knight, but this is not a good trade either. I guess it's the best thing you can do in this position because otherwise you're going to get bamboozled on one of these.
Yeah.
But you built the M structure specifically for that bishop, and now you're going to be sorely missing it.
Yeah, the problem is getting in that position, but once that knight is there, I'm bamboozled either way.
Yeah. Damn, he got you. Gothia Moore takes. Ooh. Yeah, that I don't think you have anything to do though. You probably have to play this, right?
Yeah.
You're hitting them. If they play queen b5, you can keep pushing them around, and you might even get a double fork. But even so, this should be fine for them. Yeah. You would at least be avoiding losing a piece, though, right? Because knight b6, if something like this, you can just move your bishop back and then castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, this still is not ideal, though, because look at these weak squares, right?
Yeah.
They're just gonna... It's like Swiss cheese.
Yeah, it feels bad, man.
Bishop f6, and their queen is gliding in for the hostile takeover.
That game didn't feel good.
Yeah.
It gets worse. But at this point, it was already bad, and it got worse.
Yeah, this ain't looking good. Like, right now, you need to stop this knight from getting in here.
That's what happens.
You didn't stop him?
No.
Oh, that's too bad. Knight d3. Yeah, you got too lost in the sauce. We got to stop this move, right? So, this is a tricky position. It looks ugly, but I think you have to play f5. Yeah, f5, and like the problem with f5 is that you're stopping the knight move, but this is not the way you want to be playing against their bishop. This is the opposite.
Yeah.
You would want to be building your pawns on dark squares. Yeah, this is a really tough position. Maybe the best is actually f6, knight e4, and g5, and you're building some type of concrete here.
All these look so weird that it's going to be hard to see those.
Yeah, you gotta get lost. I was gonna say you gotta get lost in the sauce, but you can't get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, that's the last thing we want to do.
You gotta get your opponent to slip in the sauce. So you gotta make the sauce as thick and as hearty as possible.
I see.
So, I think a good rule of thumb is if you're losing in a position, just try to get to a position where neither side knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you rejected it because you didn't know what's going on, but the only question should be whether or not your opponent knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Because you're losing.
Yeah.
If you know what's going on, you're probably going to lose very quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
Knight d3. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Kevin.
Yeah.
Don't resign, though, next time.
I mean, come on. I'm about to lose my queen and my knight.
I guarantee you I could beat you from this position.
It's going to be... I'm down an insane amount.
No, you're going to, first of all, you're going to save the knight with a check. So you're just down a knight to a queen.
Okay. All right.
You would be surprised, man. I have beaten GMs from this position, but okay, with only like a minute on the clock for both sides. But still, you really, like, never resign.
Okay. I generally have been good about it, but this one was so bad. But yeah,
never resign. And also, you might then come to learn why his name is Goofy.
Never means never. You're right. He's named Goofy for a reason. You don't just get that name out of nowhere.
Like, really, I guess, like, maybe another time we'll play this position out. I bet you, maybe you'd beat me most of the time from this position. You wouldn't beat me every single time from this position.
I believe it.
That's the case. Like, my moves aren't impossible to find. Like, my moves might be very unlikely to find, but you could find the moves that I would play.
Yeah, it's going to be... I will beat you a decent chunk of the time, because this is too bad.
It's too bad, but it's not Goofy bad.
Good line.
I'm proud of that line. All right, e4, c6, knight f3. Let's look at this game. Tamim Zaman Noob. Queen A... Okay, this is a good rule of thumb. BVI makes this mistake a lot. Never... Only play Queen A5 if you're actually winning material.
Yeah.
This does not win material. You understand? Like, the knight is a little bit misplaced here, but your queen is... You're just going to have to waste time with your queen. Sooner or later, he's going to do this, and you're going to get lost in the cabbage patch. Just leave it back here and move your knights to the golden squares. Open and shut case.
Yeah.
Queen A5 check, knight C3. It's not the end of the world, though. It's just a bit...
It's a waste of time.
It's like a 0.4 mistake. So as long... I'm pointing out all the mistakes just so that you can get these out of your system, but 0.4 mistake is never going to lose you the game. 0.4 mistake is just going to make your position slightly worse.
What do you mean 0.4 mistake?
I mean, like, literally 0.4 on the evaluation.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like, it's 0.4 of a pawn. So if you make 4 mistakes like this, then you would be objectively losing, but even then, that wouldn't be that obviously losing.
Yeah.
So takes, knight E5. Where does your queen want to go in these positions?
Back.
Yeah. Slice through.
Yeah.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Yep.
Yeah, whenever they trade the bishop off, you should always think about if you can get something here, and especially because you dawdled around with your queen on A5. Like, to begin with, your queen should not be here, but now that it is here, make the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
You got lemonade, or you...
I got lemons, so make lemonade.
Or you got lemonade, so make lemons.
That's how it works.
Knight F6, Queen F3, Queen B6. Yeah, you're too focused on... You're getting too lost in the sauce. Just put your queen on A6.
Yeah.
It's much more annoying. And another thing is it actually stops both routes of castling to some extent. If he does this in castles, then your queen is eyeing this.
Yeah.
So it's... Your queen is really superbly placed here. Like, don't waste... If your queen's on D8, it might not be worth wasting 2 moves to get here. But if your queen is already there, spend the move and get it back. Mm-hmm. It's going to be good. Takes. Do you snatch the pawn? Very good. You snatched again. This is quite a tricky position. You might be worse here.
Really?
Yeah, because look at your king.
I did know, like, I didn't think I was like, oh, I won the game, but wouldn't say, I would be surprised if it said I was losing.
You're stuck, but the thing is, your king is stuck in the center, and it's going to take at least 3 moves to castle.
Yeah.
At least, and also, like, how are you going to do that? Because if you push the pawn, this hangs.
Yeah.
I would assume you're losing here. If we turn on the evaluation. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, two pawns, but you're playing down the army.
Yeah.
Right? You're playing down the whole marching band.
Yeah.
You got the queen in the game, you got the damsel in the game, you got the knight in the game.
Yeah.
You got the damsel and the knight against literally, like...
I'm still surprised, because, like, I could move the queen to G7, G6, and it doesn't seem that bad.
Okay, queen G... Apparently that's a mistake. Let me... Oh, I think first, the big problem is that if rook C1, queen G6, white can't chop and ruin your structure at the same time. So takes, and then rook C1. And just some type of sacrifice here should be enough. Like, this should be enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that you're playing up a piece here. You're playing literally... These 3 pieces are going to be playing your king and rook.
Yeah.
That's quick maths. You know what I'm referencing when I say that, by the way?
No.
You've never seen Big Shaq?
No.
Alright, I'll show him to you later. Hopefully we can edit that in. It's a really funny guy. But yeah, the whole idea is that, like, white should just prioritize literally just getting a 3-1 battle or 3-2 while your king is stuck here. Because your king... Like, imagine if you just had one more move, you could castle and then you would be okay.
Yeah.
You would actually be winning. But you don't have that extra move, and after this, you're just getting mated.
Was the first pawn a mistake or just the second one?
So the first thing is I'm not even sure you could call this a mistake, because the thing is okay, well, it was a mistake which pawn you should take this pawn, right? Because this way
I'm still in the center, yeah.
Well, the center pawns are more important, and also then you have a much healthier center long term, right? Like, your king can even... It's not ideal, but your king could stay in the center here, and because you have, like, a rock-solid shell... It would be very hard for them to pierce the structure. But because you've taken the other pawns, you left their center on the board, and you've opened up files pointing straight out. You don't have almost any pieces to cover this.
I was aware that was a cost. I did see, like, the danger. I just didn't understand the magnitude of it.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, I'm not really sure if you could call this a mistake. I guess you could call it a mistake, but...
But the first one's not a disaster. The second one was an evaluation disaster.
Yeah, you got snatching. You got snacking too much. I think the big thing, though, is that I'm not sure if your opponents are going to know these things, though. Like, I would bet that he thought he was losing here after being down 2 pawns. But the idea, like, in this position, you should play e6. At this point now, 1 pawn is okay, but 2 pawns... The thing is if they take, you play rook g8, and... this knight is hanging also, which means that they're going to have to waste a bit more time. They can't just play rook b1, rook b7, and go for mate. Or maybe they can, honestly. Look at that. Here, rook b7. Good luck.
Yeah.
I guess you could play rook g7, but it's not looking fun. It's like, this is teetering on the brink.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good to teeter. Queen takes... Yeah, it's tricky. It's a tricky position. Yeah, this is a very hard position, honestly. I think e6, this is fine. And I think after rook g8, if they play rook b1, you're okay here. You can play rook g7. I don't think there's any way. If they had one more thing, if they had one more straw to throw at you, that would break the camel's back and it would be over. Like, if they could just put a pawn here,
yeah,
you're done. But they can't, and so I think you're winning. Because you're going to just slowly bring everything out. You're going to play... You could even... You're just going to slowly bring this queen back somewhere like here, here.
Well, I can't go there, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, or via this.
Yeah,
but, yeah. This is a very tricky position, though. Like, even here, actually, you might be lost. This is just this is the thing. When you're playing down so many pieces on one part of the board, especially in regards to an attack on your king, simple plans work. If they're playing like 3 against 1, that's going to be enough. They don't need to have their pieces like doing anything spectacular. Just do normal things. 3 versus 1 is going to win every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be losing here. Okay,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly dead even.
Yeah, I can't. Okay, I'm not going to try to understand that. In that position, there must be some way that white makes a killing attack, but you have perpetual to save you. Something like that. So queen takes e2, takes, a4. Huge mistake. Huge mistake he played a4. He has literally, like, if he gives you, like, 2 moves, you're going to be winning, because you're up too many pawns.
Yeah.
But the problem is that for these 2 moves, the 2 moves matter so much more if he can use them effectively. Yeah, just rook c1. Yeah, man, you're losing. Like, there's so many different ways. Like, he could take here. Even this would also work. Just any way to break through extremely quickly.
Yeah.
Like, rook b8, you are not surviving this. Check here, check, and he's going to get snacking.
Yeah.
And keep on, and then he's going to mate you. He's not going to end there. It's checkmate. Alright. So here, a4. Yeah, you can't dawdle around. Queen g6 is also a mistake.
Yeah.
Because the thing is your queen is actually better placed here for covering the queen side. Right? Like, at least make them burn a move, and then move your queen away. So right here, you should play e6. The other idea is now they can't sacrifice and immediately bring their queen over to the other side. If rook c1 here, you play queen g6, takes. Even this would be dangerous, but because their queen can't take here, it's not losing. Like, this is still very risky after queen b3, but I think you're surviving. You play bishop d6. No, yeah, you're completely fine here. You're winning. Bishop h6, and you're just going to run your king over. You can survive. If they play queen b7 to attack your rook, you play castles. And you're out. All of these things, though, are just, like, purely tactical, right? All of these things you're just going to have to calculate. Like, if your king survives, you're winning. If your king doesn't survive, you're losing.
Yeah, that's pretty much like the queen move. I was just thinking, like, where's a safe place I can put my queen and recover, but I wasn't thinking of all the ways that I was screwed if they did the correct move.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. Actually, you should be winning after bishop h6. Just cover that square, your bishop gets in, and also now you have a very simple plan. Rook g8, rook g6, and just run your king in.
Yeah.
Or castle. Both work. There's some positions, though, in which, like, they could just play queen g3, and then you're not going to be able to castle. But you would play king f8 and just slowly rook g8, rook g6. Just as long as your king can get out of, like, the danger zone.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you might lose a pawn or two. Maybe they'll go over and take a pawn. Even then, you'll still be up a pawn, and your king will be out of any danger. Yeah, this is crazy. So queen g6, this guy, I would be ripping into him if I was teaching him. Like, it's just outrageous.
Yeah.
He has a huge lead in development. He needs to take. Takes, queen takes. I would bet he's still winning here. All right. Some things you just can't explain.
I don't know if it shows up on the... does this bar show up in the camera? Check OBS.
Yeah,
yeah, okay, good.
That's
nice.
so funny.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, the people need to see this.
It's so...
Exactly.
It makes no sense. That makes literally no sense. Like, I'm thinking, like, how is black not losing here? Yeah, okay, that's losing.
You just want to check if it was working.
I want to see rook c8 somehow is a draw. Like, I don't understand that, though. After rook c1 takes... What? Oh, is the move rook c2? Is that the idea? No, that's not the move. I cannot understand. I guess you're going to play queen g4 and your queen protects... What is the move here? Do you see? Oh no, now it's getting better. Now it's 0.8.
But that's still a lot different than what it is when you make all the moves you make.
All right, that doesn't work.
That's just checkmate.
That's mate in 7. Do you see this though? Like this is the whole idea. You're up a piece here, but it's 2-0. You just had if you had one more move, you would be winning.
Yeah.
But you're losing. Oh, this is insane. This is bananas. What is it must be okay, no, now it's getting,
now it's back.
Yeah, okay. That Alright, that's better. Yeah. That makes more that 0.0, that makes no sense. H3 Bishop, keep their rook out of the square. Look at that. He makes one move and it goes from I bet it was winning before. Come on. Come on. Come on. What are you supposed to do here? I guess the thing is in this position you do not even want to take. If you take, you let the queen get better, but you do need to deal with this threat. So just play rook. No, sorry, not there. Rook c8. All right, if rook c8 doesn't work, I don't know how you're not losing. Okay, good. This is really nice. I'm better than the computer. Y'all saw it here.
Yeah.
This is crazy though. And look at that. It goes from winning to losing.
Yeah.
One tempo. Bishop g7, and put your bishop on h6 next time. You got too lost in the fianchetto sauce.
This whole concept of like stopping the rook from going to the c file, it was not on my mind at all, honestly.
Yeah, but also you just don't want your bishop pointed into a pawn. Like normally bishops on the long diagonal are great, but this is not the classic long diagonal. This pawn is blocking, this pawn is also going to be blocking. It's also blocking an open file, which you might want to use.
Yeah.
There's just nothing that's good about the bishop being on g7 here. So here, good, castles and you're winning. Rook b7, f5. I'll turn the evaluation off. It's teetering around too much. He just resigned here?
No.
It looks like he did. Oh, sorry. Takes here. So actually, if we look at it, this rook has almost nowhere to go. I would look to trap the rook. I would play something like queen d6.
Nice.
And you see that?
Yeah.
Rook b7 and bishop b6. You can't yet attack it, but it's pretty much trapped here. It's completely locked out. This is a very bad move, bishop c3. Why did you do it? Also, why do you think it's bad?
I thought my general thought process was I'm up material at this point. My king's safe. I'll just start trading stuff off.
And first of all, your king isn't that safe because you have lots of weak dark squares, which would be protected by what?
A pawn generally, but the bishop can always go back if I take, you know.
Yeah, but they're gonna take your bishop off the board.
Yeah.
No, this bishop is so much better than the knight.
Yeah.
This is a really big mistake here.
Yeah.
There's no need to do it, and also you're bringing the queen over to attack this pawn. Your bishop is perfect here, right? If their knight can't get anywhere good for a few moves, just don't trade it off. Their knight might eventually get decent somewhere on like h5 or f4 to start attacking your weak squares, or even g3. That's going to take them a while, though.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, your bishop is already as good as some of those. Yeah, this is a big mistake. And just in general, like I tell my students, you need to have a good reason to trade off your bishop for a knight, and like just simply trading for the sake of trading is not a good reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, also just in particular, right, you have all these pawns on light squares. This bishop is really superb here.
Yeah.
It's perfectly covering the other color. Like, your bishop could just sit here, and this is perfectly anchored by this pawn. This is how you want it. You want all your other pawns on the color opposite the bishop so that they don't block the bishop, but then you want one pawn on the color of the bishop just to cement it.
Nice.
Yeah, this would be good. All right, so takes, rook c8, takes. You are still winning here, truth be told. But the thing is now with your bishop not able to shield these squares, they have a very simple plan of just bringing their rook over. And once that happens, you're going to have to start fanning the flames of your opponent's rook. Rook c1, queen d6, good. Check. Okay, yeah, just trade and this is simple.
Yeah, there's nothing really exciting after this.
Why'd you play a6? There's no need for this. Just bring your king in and start throwing the pawns up.
Yeah, that's what ends. Yeah, it was a wasted move, but that's what ends up happening.
Yeah, like the thing is here now they're able to maintain it, right?
Yeah.
Because they got that extra move. Just try to get your king up immediately. It's better to like, especially in endgames, you want to just get as far ahead as possible. You want to get as inland as possible, so it would be even better to bring your king this way. And just play c5, and your king is just going to assist these pawns. They could check a bit, but sooner or later, they're going to run out of checks, and you're going to just keep pushing. There. They have a weakness here. You could just switch over. And if they play rook c3, you can throw in a check, you're going to kick their king out, and then you can get snagged. What you did is fine, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you did is completely fine. Check here. You do want to be a bit careful, though. When you get their king next to your pawn like this, you need to make sure that you immediately have a check. So rook c5... Okay, rook c5 is okay. Rook c5 is completely fine. But just in general, only push pawns onto the same color if you know you have a way to keep them moving. It's much better just keep your pawns like this.
Yeah.
Right? Because then their king can't get close. Like, think about it. If you made a blunder and somehow this rook got here, you would lose a pawn.
Yeah.
And that would be really critical. Like, right here, their king can never get close, and they still can't use the square because your pawns are still dynamically so close to always reaching those squares.
Yeah.
Tactically, like, the idea is here, they can't move their king and they can't move their rook because of both of these forks. There's a lot more dynamism in the position here. Like, rook b7 and just rook b5 would make more sense here. So here, rook f3, took, king e6, good. Yeah, you cannot let them take here and push your king back. Like, if you do something like this, all of a sudden this should be a draw because you lost this critical pawn.
Yeah.
It's connected pawns are the name of the game in rook endings. If you have two connected pawns, if you play it right, you should always be winning. Rook b5, okay, good. It's better just to limit all your opponent's counterplay. You could check here. If they play here, you have I was gonna say this, but they're gonna take with check. But you could still you can swing your, you could push their king out of the way and then just start pushing. It would be simpler. Because the thing is they have some pawns that are running here themselves. You do need to play quickly. a4, g5, a3, takes. a2, good. Good, there's no need to take here. This is not a threat. Queen? Yeah, actually, yeah, what you did was completely fine. It might even be arguably better than the rook check. Okay. You must have a checkmate here. Check, check. That's crazy. There must be some immediate mate. I can't see it. Yeah, this is a mistake. Don't make non-checks here. Just try to always make checks.
Yeah.
So if you don't want their king going here, that's completely fine. Just try to check the king and hit this square.
Yeah, it makes sense. I just wanted to, like, my only real way I could lose the game was my thought process is the F pawn. So, and there's no way he could defend it. So might as well just take that, and if all the other pawns leave the battlefield or whatever, it's fine. But
that makes sense, but you should just try to play better moves so that you can just take the pawn with check, for instance.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, just if you can stop the king from going here, the king has to stay in the vortex around your pieces, and you're going to have a very quick mate.
Yeah, so just, yeah.
G1. Yeah, they have to go back. Then check here, check. There's going to be a very quick mate here. I think they're probably like 5 maiden threes or something. Like here, yeah, just, it takes a while, but check here. You're just slowly pushing them out. And check. Something like this.
Yeah.
The idea is that you have a queen and rook, you should have an immediate checkmate. It's better just to keep checking. And
yeah.
if you can't, like, you're getting to the point, I understand you just didn't want to lose, but if you don't want to lose, just take the pawn.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Yeah, you're getting to the point where you're getting good enough that you should not be so worried about, like, just making a blunder like that. Like, so long as you just keep checking, there is no way that they're going to survive. Don't worry. Like, they need 2 moves, right? They need to make a queen and then start checking.
Yeah.
If you can find the right checkmate, that should never be a problem here. Yeah, like, going back here, though, just, like, in this position when you have queen and rook, just take a bit more time to figure out what to do. Like, here, all you need to do is make sure their king cannot enter this. Their king wants to run behind your pawns to avoid the vortex. So just check and then mate.
Yeah.
Just take a bit more time. All right, here. Even so, you are completely winning, of course. Yeah, you have a bunch of mates, and you're just trying to take the pawns. I understand that, but just work on your checkmates. Like here, this is a classic mate. This classic rook and queen stuff. Takes here. I'm not saying this, okay, in this position, of course, my advice doesn't make any difference, but there are going to be positions, for instance, where they have a queen on the board, and because you start just trying to take pawns, because you're playing in a very risk-averse fashion, they're going to have a draw.
Yeah, it makes sense. I understand.
When you got the train, you got to strike while the iron's hot. When you have a queen and rook on the board, you should pretty much keep checking until you have mate.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at this game. F4, nice. Yeah, we started off with 2 black games. Very nice. Knight c3 is tricky. Normally you don't want to play knight c3 here. You keep playing the knight c3 move.
I'm always like whenever they don't do anything with the knight, and then the stuff I have concrete is the lines where they get their knight onto c6, and then when they completely ignore that, I'm kind of thrown for a loop.
Yeah, this is tricky. You know what I know what the move is here. Normally, by the way, if they don't move their knight to c6, just play bishop e2 and castle.
Okay.
Because knight c3, this is often bad. You want to put your pawn here and knight here.
Yeah.
Because your knight... The thing is if they have the doubled pawns here, then your knight is good here. Your knight is not good here, though, in this position. They can just play b6 and your knight is doo-doo.
Yeah.
So knight c3 is going to a4. It doesn't have anything to do here, though. It's only if their b pawn is not on the board that c5 becomes weak. Can you guess what the move is here? So bishop e2, just in general, bishop e2 is the go-to in these situations.
Bishop e2 is the go-to.
But there is something better here, though.
And it's not d3?
No. d3 is okay, but it's not the best.
I don't know that.
It's really wacky. You play rook g1 here.
That's essentially a trick question.
You're going to play g4 and g5.
I don't think you ever saw that until you did put it in the computer.
Yeah, but I put it in the computer. Yeah. And now I remember it.
But don't ask me as if I'm going to figure out when you couldn't figure that out.
No, it makes sense. No, this is an idea.
It seems like a very unnatural.
Like, I'm a Grandmaster. Of course I've seen this idea before, but it's, no, it makes a lot of sense, though, because the thing is here they've castled, so this is going to be better. You've also not committed your king, so you're going to castle queenside.
Yeah.
And more than that, their pawn is very far. They want to play c5 and d4, but now it's going to take longer because they spent time on doing this and castling. It's quite different. Like, honestly, the reason I taught you bishop e2 is that if you play rook g1 in the wrong situation, it does not work at all. So do not play... Until, like, you really have the bird down to a T, do not play rook g1 stuff.
Yeah.
But the idea is, like, if c5 here, rook g1, now you're much worse. Because in this case, they have not gone there.
Yeah.
So they could still castle queenside. And also, they're going to just play d4 too quickly. The idea is something like this, they're going to just play knight d5, and already the screws are getting tightened. Right? If your pawn moves, then you lose this pawn. If your pawn takes, they take here. This check is also going to be annoying.
Yeah.
Nothing works here. But here, after rook g1, somehow everything is fine. If they play knight e4, I think we trade off with knight c3. The idea is we're trading, though. And you're going to get positions like this. Like takes bishop d3, and you're going to have both bishops shooting at their king.
Yeah.
Wacky stuff. So you didn't consider that?
No.
Alright, c5, d4. Yeah, you're panicking. Do you not want to play d4? Only play the d4 if you can get a healthy Irish stonewall.
Yeah. Which is when I could push the c pawn also.
Yeah. No, d4 is really, really bad here because you're blocking your bishop.
Yeah.
You gotta just be patient. Like, that's the whole idea. You gotta think, like, treat yourself like Rambo. Like, you just gotta wait in the forest. Don't worry that if they push, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Your knight is honestly worse placed, though. That's why your knight should not be going here unless you can sit on a4 comfortably.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Like, back here, if you just played bishop e2, c5, castles, knight c6, if they play d4 here, you can play e4, and everything is healthy. I guess, okay, here in this position, you have to watch out for knight g4 stuff. This score is very weak. I realize I'm coming at you with a lot of information, but trust me, it's simple, it's comprehensive. It's a lot, but it's simple in its nature, and so sooner or later you will be able to get a hold over everything.
Yeah.
Alright, so knight c3. Yeah, just I think in general, though, stop playing knight c3. I've been noticing you playing it in a lot of positions. You should be playing it maybe 10% as much as you're doing.
So what, like, I need to have, like, a sort of baseline. So what's the baseline?
If their b pawn is taken on the c file in some way. Right? The whole idea here is that this is what you want to be going for, this type of thing. Knight c3, castles, and knight a4, right? There's a weak pawn.
Yeah.
Why is this weak? Because they don't have a b pawn.
Yeah, yeah.
If they have a b pawn, it's not weak. It's tricky to understand, but just, yeah, get this. I think this is still something that you're just doing mechanically. This should not be a move you make mechanically. Even when I play the bird, I'm always thinking about whether or not my knight is going to be good on a4. This is a move that can be very good, but also very bad.
I guess, like, the difficulty is that the position you get when they play knight c6 and when they don't, it's so dramatically different. In that the bishop is like in a completely different spot, the knight suddenly is doing something completely different. So, like, having, like, sort of a memorized line for a knight c6 line, it's, like, almost completely irrelevant to the no knight c6 line. Like the knight and the knight and your king bishop are doing completely different things in those.
Yeah, I'm honestly quite surprised that no one is putting their knight on c6. When I did my research on the course, it said people at your level are playing knight c6 out a ton.
They do often. Like these games, it's a small subsection, of course. It's a small sample size. I do see knight not to c6, but I definitely see knight to c6 more often than I don't. But knight to no c6 is not like an aberration either.
Yeah. Yeah, these positions are tricky. I mean, don't worry about playing rook g1. Don't play rook g1, but play bishop e2 castles. And like, there's still a simple way to play. It's not ideal that you didn't get your bishop to b5, but it's not the end of the world. Just play knight e5, and you're still in the classic setup. You're going to play d3, transfer this knight over here, right? The knight wants to go to this golden square. That's where it's not blocking the bishop.
Yep.
Yeah. Just like, it's okay to play knight c3, but do it after thought. Don't. I think you're just playing it mechanically.
No, I was, and you are correct. I'm not trying to argue. I'm just explaining sort of the difficulty of understanding the bird. It changes, like, when it changes its form, it's dramatically different.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky, but the idea is that, like, the more complex it is, generally it's going to be more complex for both players, and so the idea is it is going to take you time to acclimatize, but when it does work, you're going to be tearing people to shreds with your talons.
When I get the positions I want, it's fun, and even when it's not, it's often fun. Because even in this game where I don't play it correctly, I think if there's a game I think it ends up in a relatively chaotic position.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like looking at the moves, things get really crazy really quickly. Like d4 here, good. Okay, yeah. Like no one has any idea what they're doing. Like queen a5 is also not a good move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just in general, though, yeah, so these are two moves you should wipe from your bird intuition. Knight c3 and d4, both of these are almost never good. d4 is sometimes okay, but never if you've already fianchettoed.
Yeah.
Do not, like, you might have seen me doing it, but that's if they're doing, like, random stuff like this. Like, you remember that game I was playing on stream somewhere where I just started throwing my pawns at them?
Yeah.
That's if they're not occupying the center at all. If they're occupying the center, generally d4... I can't think of a single time almost that d4 is good. There are very rare exceptions. Until you learn those exceptions, just pretty much never play b3 and d4. They never agree with each other.
That makes sense, but I'm always like, in the positions where I'm fiend-shadowing my bishop, I've often want to do a queenside castle, and then I can't.
Oh, okay. No, we're getting to the deeper root. Queenside castling almost never happens.
I've been doing a lot of queenside castling.
You're doing it wrong then.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, queenside, okay, I understand. But if you do want a queenside castle, though, then just put your queen on e2. If you're queenside castling, this bishop doesn't need to take priority, right? So just play queen e2, d3, and e4.
Yeah.
And just do it that way. Your bishop will eventually come here.
Yeah, because the queenside is so much solider. My gut was...
Well, d4 is very counterproductive, though, right? Because now they can take and open up the c-file on your king.
Of course, again, as usual, I'm not arguing. I'm just sort of explaining like why, to me, it felt natural for once we get to a position like this, that a queenside castle looks natural.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's good that we're talking about this. Yeah. Just in general, queenside castling, that's pretty rare. There is logic behind it, though. That when you queenside castle, it's normally when you've already gotten some tempi somewhere else. Normally it's when their bishop is over here and you've already chased them around a lot and you've expanded far on the king side.
Yeah. There
definitely are situations where it's strategically, like, by far the best and by far logical, but until you learn those nuances, yeah, just knight c3, d4. Knight c3 is played maybe 10% of the time. d4 is played maybe... I can't think of a single time it's played with the bishop on b2. You pretty much literally never do it. Even if you're going to queenside castle, just do it with d3 and e4.
Yeah.
Yeah, just knight c3, d4. Just really try to... I'm not saying never play them. d4, actually, I don't think you should ever play. But knight c3, just really...
But d4 is, like, we talked about except when you can get the Irish Stonewall in some positions where it ends up more close.
The Irish Stonewall is not with b3, though. Right.
Yeah, but still you're playing... okay, you're saying in the context of b3.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes d4.
Never played b3 with d4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember with the d4, ultimately you want to play c4 in most of the positions we went through.
Yeah. No, and also with d4, this pawn is weak, right? So your bishop is better just sitting back.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, by the way, I understand, like, I'm not saying that you're not going through understandable difficulties. Like, the bird is unbelievably complex.
Yeah.
I was dealing with all these things, but I was locked in a room with my computer studying these things for months. That's why I know them. Okay, so here... All right, nice. You just got a piece, and you got the knight out. Fantastic. Probably e takes. Actually, yeah, no, knight takes is also fine. The problem with knight takes is this pawn stays weak here. Eventually, they might be able to push this pawn and trade it for your pawn, and then you're going to have huge weaknesses on this one. It's not the biggest issue, and you are up a piece here. In general, though, e takes is better in the Irish Stonewall. E takes and then play knight e5. So knight takes, knight a6. Okay, good. You kicked him back. You traded. Okay, a4. a4 is fine. You played knight f3. Here you have a better idea, though. In general, when you have pawns like this and you don't have a d pawn, you need to think about this weakness. Just push.
Yeah.
Just get it out of the way. Either you could trade here, or you could just keep the tension. This has turned all of a sudden into a great position. If they play d4, your bishop is bad for the moment. Your bishop will come around, though, and be okay. Or you could even go here, actually, and target this. But the idea is that this position is fantastic for you. Even if you weren't up a piece here.
Yeah.
Your knight goes here. You have really healthy pieces. This pawn is weak. Yeah, these pieces are never getting perturbed here.
Yeah.
And you can always play e5 to shoot through. Meanwhile, their bishops are stuck still. This bishop is pointed here. This bishop is pointed here. Neither of these can really simplify or resolve their problems easily. Okay, so knight f3.
Oh, I remember what happens in this game.
Even pretty much at every single point here, e4 would make sense.
Yeah.
Because the idea is takes, you just go back, you're attacking this, and if f5, you have your pieces are fantastic here. e4, this knight, I talk about this a lot in my course. Once you get the square for your knight, this is almost worth a pawn in some positions because your knight is just so fantastic here.
Yeah.
Because think about it, your bishop wants this diagonal, so the golden square has more or less been moved up one.
Yeah.
Instead, it's over there. All right, so rook g1. Nice. What was this about, not finding rook g1 ideas?
You're right.
Knight d4, good. Dude, on the whole, you're playing very well. Like, takes, rook e1. Okay, here. f5, good, solidify the knight. Rook f3. There. Takes, nice. You chop through. Here you started getting snacking, but with your knight so good and your pawn so good, you should already be playing for mate.
Okay.
Do you think about that?
No.
Like, okay, maybe they're taking here and they're going to undermine your knight. But here, if you just play something like rook g1, this is the end of the game. Takes, you're already going to have several mates here. Like, this is mate. If they play king h8.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the pinned king. That is a good point.
Rook g6. You have several pieces, right? You have several pieces points in their zone. And, yeah, pretty much if you have any... What was the rule I made? If you ever have more than 10 points, so in this case you have 13.
Yeah.
Then... Yeah, then that's grounds for going for a nice attack. It's mostly, though, due to the fact this knight is performing the function of more than a rook, right? This knight is covering 8 squares, this rook is only covering, like, 4.
Yeah.
This knight is dominating the whole board. This knight solidified by this pawn is really superb. So knight c7 here, you took. Nice. A good win. You got snacking. Alright, let's look at this game. So you had 3 blacks. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's good you got the wins. Chess.com owes us a few birds. c3. d4. Dude, I'm so proud of you, man. You're playing such great chess. Like, d4, honestly, maybe it's slightly inaccurate, but I just like the mentality. You're going...
Yeah.
Nice. That's amazing, man. Your awareness is expanding.
Some guy in the YouTube comments told us what actually word describes that pattern of... But I forgot what word he used. It was very official sounding. Remember, like, the word where they're disconnected? He had some, like, scientific term.
Bivaricated.
Yeah, bivaricated.
Yeah.
The bivaricated pawns.
Yeah. I mean, the flip side is that now you also have pawns that are bivaricated.
Yeah.
But his bivaricated are worse than our bivaricated. Actually, though, because your queen is defending this, their king is not defending this.
Yeah.
Bishop g4, bishop e2, f6. f6, don't play f6 in the Caro.
Yeah.
This is not going to work out. Like, here, you should be losing here if we turn on the evaluation. Come on, chess.com. There we go. Yeah, there's always too many problems on the light squares. And think about it. You've put all your pawns on dark squares.
Yeah.
So should you be trading off the light squared bishops?
Definitely not.
No, yeah. If they play something like knight h4, you're a lot worse. Or a bit worse.
Well, wouldn't, like, in that situation... No, yeah, because then, yeah, no, it's my great bishop for his bad bishop.
Yeah, no, and their queen is just going to dominate the light squares.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Definitely.
This is going to get really, really bad. Like g6, e6, your bishop can't get out. Like bishop g7, knight f5. You can't even take here because of the check and mate.
Yeah. I'm in big trouble.
Yeah. It's not good. I mean, I would assume even queen b3 here. That's what keeps the win. Yeah. Your light squares are just too weak.
Yeah.
Also, just, I mean, I made a rule. I told BVI this rule, and I'm going to tell you this rule as well. Just limit yourself to 3-pawn moves in the opening.
Yeah.
You should never need to move more than 3 pawns in the opening. If you do, you better have a darn good reason. 3-pawn moves by move 12. So I guess technically you already broke it, because you're going to have to move a 4th pawn. This counts as 2. You moved it twice.
No, I think I could see in my own games that I am too pawn centric at the beginning. So I think that's a good rule.
Yeah, it just makes sense as well, right? Like I'm sure pawns can improve the position slightly, but they don't offer the best return.
Yeah.
For a single move. Okay, so bishop g4, bishop e2, f6, h3, takes. Ooh, yeah, this is really, really bad. Yeah, you shouldn't be trading this bishop. I mean, maybe the computer, I guess the evaluation is just not changing at all, but this is a recipe for disaster. I'm very happy you won this game, because you should be completely lost here. Like, knight c6, queen b3, how are you ever going to castle here?
Yeah.
You understand you traded off your bishop that was supposed to cover these squares, and you also voluntarily pushed all your pawns onto the other color.
Yeah.
Right? If you just could move this back and this here, then your position would all of a sudden be fine. So takes, knight d7, takes. That's probably a mistake, honestly. He should not be taking this. His bishop is so good in this position. If he just leaves his bishop here, knight f6 and bishop, I don't know, somewhere like bishop b3, good luck to you.
Yeah.
You're never going to castle. Your king's just going to be stuck. Takes f3. That's a big mistake. He should just be... He's still winning here. He should just castle and use his development. He's burning moves with his pawns. Knight f6, takes. Why not take this way?
I just wanted more stuff on my king side is probably the simple thought process. I don't remember specifically, but that was probably the general
This
thought.
isn't your king side, though. This is the center.
Yeah, but like... it's moving one from my queen side to the center.
Yeah.
Rather than taking one from the center and keeping it in the center.
But you're fixing your pawns, right? You're undoubling them.
Yeah,
That's
that makes
the big
perfect
thing.
sense.
This pawn is going to be a huge thorn in your side here, right? You would want to put a bishop here and shoot through these.
Yeah, it makes sense.
As long as this pawn stays here, you're not going to be able to. Yeah, I think e takes was slightly better. g6, okay. h6. You're moving so many pawns, man. You really broke this rule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 pawn moves before you've gotten castled. 10. Yeah, you gotta move less pawns. Really, like, it sounds super simple. I think to play it like a GM level, you pretty much never need to move more than 4 pawns by move 12.
No, I understand. Like I understand. And like I said, I saw that it was an issue myself, and I can easily see how it's a thing.
But it's crazy though. Like really, like there's it's another of like the golden squares, right? There are times when you do want to break the rule, but even then, following the rule and like just not playing the objectively best move is not going to cost you that much.
Yeah.
While this is going to cost you a lot. Okay, so here you made a mistake. This square is super weak. You should be aiming to drill a knight in there.
So yeah, to d4.
Yeah, like that's the whole thing, right? When you have pawn phalanxes, you want to think about the squares they cover because that's where your knights are going to be able to really prosper. Like you would want to aim this knight to get here, for instance, right? To be able to hit some of these squares. Your knights would be great on these squares. Queen e5, knight d2, knight c5, bishop g7. Okay, you took. They checked. Do you take the bishop? I think taking the bishop is better. Yeah, this is definitely a mistake. Look at this. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You can take 2 things here. Just do a discount double check. If you take this, you lose a knight, right? So you only get 2.
Yeah.
If you take this, you get 3, and you're getting a rook. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta just remember to be more cognizant. When you have more time... by the way, I am happy you win this, because at the moment you're losing. But it's good that you played it out, and you toughed it out, and you won. Yeah, just whenever the position is complicated, try to take like a minute.
Because it gets back to like again, I don't remember specifically my thought process for every move, but it's so quick. I'm almost sure that it's just generally like panicking that there's a rook in my area.
Yeah,
and being afraid of bungling.
Yeah, no, but there's no. Always think about insulation, right? When you think about your king, well, first of all, there's only a rook that's never going to checkmate you alone.
Yeah.
But then more than that, if you look at this zone, with the exception of these two squares, all of them are covered twice.
Yeah.
So this, yeah, you should be completely fine here.
Yeah.
Or sorry, this is also only covered once. But yeah, this, right, you have so many extra things pointed here. That's what matters. It's called, I call this in my course insulation. Just, if you have more pieces covering the squares around your king. And by the way, it's a good makeshift thing, right? If your king is already weak and you have no way to just take free rooks, just try to put more pieces covering all these squares. And the idea is that you would not have a single square around your king that's
Yeah.
at least not covered a second time. So takes, yeah, this is a huge blunder. Just take this, you're completely winning here because they're.
Yeah. You're trading a rook for
You're gonna
a
get
rook
this.
and another piece,
Yeah,
or a piece for a rook and a piece.
yeah. No, I think, but by the way, like even if you had missed this, I think your big mistake here is just never make a move in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Pretty much never. I don't think there's any time. Maybe okay, the first move you can play F4 move 1 because you know that position like 100,000 times. But any move that isn't like an obvious opening move that you've played tens or dozens of times should not be automatic.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, where were we? Okay, here. Takes. Take on A2. This isn't the end of the world though. At the end of the day, it's a bad position. You took Queen F3, Queen B6. Good. This is like insulation, right? This is what we were talking about. You're just covering more squares. By the way, also keep in mind what I mentioned there doesn't have to do with proximity. Your queen could be over here and still be covering the same amount. It just has to do with the fact that you're covering. It doesn't need to be particularly close.
Yeah.
Check here. Takes. They played here. I'm ecstatic that you won this game because you should be dead lost. King here. He just needs to bring his rook into a place where you're weak, right? If it looks here, this is relatively well covered. He just needs to put a rook underneath.
Mm-hmm.
So he should play rook c1 and rook c8. Like here, rook c8, you're going to be lost very, very quickly. Like you could try something like this to attack their pawn. They play here and already this is going to be mate.
Yeah.
And they could shift over. The idea is that all of these squares are just so much less defensible than attacking from above. Alright, so he checked. He played e5. You took. Good. Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. Good. And he resigned. Nice. I mean, you stuck it out. You toughed it out. You deserved the win. Definitely.
Nice.
Ultimately, yeah, I think work on your tactics. The rules of thumb to follow. Limit yourself to 4 pawn moves in the opening. I think even, yeah, the bird definitely follows that. You play f4, e3, b3, and then normally you get castled first. Occasionally you play d3, but even then that would only be the 4th pawn move.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop playing knight c3 all the time. Knight c3 can be good, but do you remember what the special?
If they've taken on b6 or their b pawn's gone.
Yeah, if their b pawn is gone in some way. Pretty
Yeah.
much if they've ever taken in this fashion, whether it's this
Yeah.
or this. Because your knight on a4 is great so long as their b pawn is not on the board.
Yeah.
Nice. What about d4? Should you be playing d4?
Never if I played b3.
Good. Perfect. Yeah, I think you're on the track to success. Your rating is going up. I'm really excited for the future. I think you're going to be America's next chess.com master.
That's right.
Nice. All right.
All right. See you guys later. Thanks for watching.